وعليكم السلام.
Nah, oke.
Baik,
Ini.
oke.
Peserta
Dr.
20.
Anggi, Dr. Anggi,
Yes, Dr.
okay,
Dimas.
can you hear my voice over there?
Yes,
Doctor,
sure.
clear? Okay, okay, we can start now. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lah. Asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. First of all, let's thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has given us His mercies and blessing today. So we can meet the best of health. And secondly, salat and salam always be delivered to our beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his companions, following him. Thirdly, would like to welcome all of the respected and invited speakers today. If I may call one by one, our first speaker is Dr. Azhana binti Uthman, head of the iCEPS and further lectures at UiTM Malaysia. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Azhana. Are you there? Atau gini, saya okay. Sorry for making you waiting. So I'd like to welcome again all of you here who has been our invited speaker. Yeah, the first is Dr. Azhana binti Uthman, the head of iCEPS or some lectures at UiTM Malaysia. Welcome, Doctor. Have you been with us?
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you. Terima kasih, Doctor, for receiving our invitation. The second one is the second one is our invited speaker, Puan Maizatul Saadiah Mohamad, lecturer Faculty of Management and My Business, UiTM Malaysia. Have you been with us, Doctor? Puan Maizatul. Okay, and third one is Dr. Abu Sufian Abu Bakar, Pusat Pengajian Ekonomi and Banks, Universiti Utara Malaysia. Have you been with us, Dr.
Ya.
Abu Sufian?
Yes. Terima kasih, Dr. Dimas Agus.
And the last but not least is Dr. Ghiyosiddin Nurov from International University of Tourism and Entrepreneurship of Tajikistan. Very good afternoon, Dr.
I do hear you, right? My pleasure.
Okay, so today we are going to have parallel discussion pertaining some issues in economics and finance. And for your information, doctors, our program here, this program is organized by International Program for Islamic Economics and Finance under Economics Department, Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah, Jakarta. So this program basically is one of our premier program that invited some lectures around the world to be our team teaching at our respective courses. So in this semester, we have been successfully inviting more than 20 lectures with us for during these semesters, and in either online or offline. And today, we will have you to share with us some issues. And this program also were attended by some students with us. All students here coming from economics departments, either in the first, third, and fifth semesters. And they are now undertaking courses under economics departments. So in terms of the presentation ease of view, we would like to let you, doctors, to share with us perhaps maximum 20 minutes per presentation. And we let all of the speakers to complete the presentation in 20 minutes. And in the end of after all the presenters presented the paper or the topics, we will have a Q&A session. Yeah. So with that, let me start by reciting Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And today we will have 4 topics that will be discussed by our invited speakers. The first is Dr. Azhana will be speaking on international trade and balance of payments. Yeah, and the second will be Puan Maizatul Saadiah on the topic on basic macroeconomics relationship. And the third one, Dr. Abu Sufian, will be on aggregate supply. And the last one, our doctor from Tajikistan on business opportunities in Tajikistan. So with that, I will let you, the first maybe Dr. Azhana. Time is yours, doctors, please. Okay, doctor, I have seen your slide. Okay, doctor, please, you are still muted, doctor. You are still muted.
Yes, doctor. I'm still setting my laptop. Okay. Sorry. Okay, where is it?
Okay, doctor, could you please make the slide bigger, doctor, or full screen?
Okay. Okay, is it clear, doctor?
Yes, clear, perfect. Doctor,
Okay.
please.
Okay, so can I start?
Please, doctor. Time is yours for 20 minutes, doctor.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Dimas, for the short introductions. Okay, so as mentioned, my name is Dr. Azhana Othman, Senior Lecturer of Economics and Finance Department, Faculty of Business and Management, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Melaka Branch. Okay, and also the Head of Center for iCEPS. Okay, iCEPS stands for Institute of Continuing Education and Professional Studies, mainly for the part-time students, okay, and also the affiliated college. Okay, so today I would like to share with you, okay, the topics on international trade and balance of payment. Okay, so these are my presentation outline. Okay, firstly, okay, we'll go to the definitions. Okay, and then secondly, to the difference between international trade and domestic trade or internal trade. Okay, thirdly, on why countries trade. Okay, and next, the international trade theory, and of course, okay, the protectionism, okay, the tools to protect local industries. Okay, and the last one is the balance of payment. Okay, so let's look at the definition. Okay, international trade. Okay, of course, when we mention about international, so the transactions or the exchange between goods and services will involve in two countries, okay, of the world. Okay, for example, the international trade between Malaysia and Indonesia. Okay, and another definitions is internal trade. Okay, the contra. Okay, because we the internal trade also rely on, is it, okay, it is the domestic trade. Okay, so internal trade, domestic trade, okay, refers to exchange of goods and services within the political boundaries of a country. For example, like Malaysia, we have 14 states. So the trade between states or regions, okay, is called internal trade. Okay, so next, let us look at what is the difference between international trade and internal trade. Okay, the first one is regarding natural resources. Okay, of course, okay, different countries will have different natural resources. Okay, that's why we need the international trade. Okay, and between region or between states also have different resources. Okay, that's why it initiate, okay, the international or the internal trade. Okay, and then in terms of monetary units, okay, of course, in this world, okay, in international trade, okay, it involves various of currency. For example, Malaysia have ringgit Malaysia, okay, Indonesian rupiah, okay, and we have US, okay, dollar, okay, and Singapore, the Singapore dollar, and others. Okay, and then regarding the national policies, of course, we need the government support, okay, to allow, okay, our country to involve in the international trade. Okay, and then regarding documentations, of course, the international trade needs more documentations in terms of how to bring the goods, okay, from our country to outside. Okay, and then we have the protectionism. Okay, this topic I will elaborate later, but for the early information, protectionism is a tool, okay, to protect the local industries. Okay, meaning that although the government encourage countries to involve in international trade, but somehow they need to protect the local industry in terms of competitions. Okay, and then the size of market and total transactions. Okay, so if the entrepreneur, okay, would like to have a bigger market, of course, they need to reach the international trade, okay, because they can go beyond, okay, what the early expectation regarding their business. Okay, and then regarding the immobility of factors of productions. Okay, so regarding the internal trade just now is more mobile, okay, regarding resources. But for the international trade, of course, okay, we have all the procedures and regulations, okay, before the goods and services are allowed, okay, in the international market. Okay, so to summary, okay, the international trade, okay, is the exchange of goods, services, and capital across national borders. Okay, so of course, it involves buying, selling, and trading products. Okay, in simple word, okay, it involves import and export. Import when we buy the goods and services from the other countries, and export when our countries selling, okay, the goods and services. Okay, so the question is, why do countries trade? Okay, so I will discuss with you, okay, the advantage and disadvantage of the country involved in international trade. Okay, firstly, let us look at the merits or the advantage. Okay, the first one is to increase world output. Okay, through specializations, okay, so the country will focus on certain or specific productions, so they can increase, okay, the output. Okay, and when they have increased the output, okay, and they have surplus, okay, they can export, okay, their goods to the other countries. Okay, and next, to have varieties of goods and services, of course, okay, with international trade, okay, nowadays we have all varieties of goods and services, okay, from all of the countries of the world. Okay, we have varieties in foods, okay, varieties in clothes, and so on, so on. Okay, next we have relationship between trading partners. Okay, this is regarding the economic cooperations, okay, between countries. So it will help, okay, in terms of trade, in terms of a good governance, and so on. Okay, and next, okay, why do countries involved in international trade? Okay, to have higher income. Okay, because relates to the first one, to increase world output. Okay, so when the countries involved in export, okay, they expect more and more money inflow, okay, to their countries in terms of selling the goods and services to the other countries, and of course in terms of difference of currency, it will give higher income or higher profit, okay, for the individual and also the firms, and of course, okay, the country. Okay, next, through international trade, okay, of course, those who involved can share the knowledge and technology. Okay, meaning that, for example, like Japan's manufacturing built in Malaysia, or we import the compartments from Japan. Okay, so in other words, okay, we are sharing the knowledge and technology, meaning that although we did not produce it from the beginning, okay, we have that knowledge or that technology. Okay, for example, nowadays, okay, when a new handphones are launched, okay, at the same day, we can also have that the handphone, okay, because through international trade. Okay, next is the demerit, okay, disadvantage. Okay, the first one, depletions of country reserve. Okay, this is in terms of the resources just now. Okay, the natural resources, for example, like petrol. Okay, so to have a good economic growth, okay, higher income, okay, higher profit, of course, we need to sell our goods and services to outside. For example, the raw material just now, petrol to outside. Okay, but in long term, okay, it would deplete the resources. Okay, meaning that at one point the petrol will vanish. Okay, so that is something to look forward, okay, to think, okay, about why do we need to trade just now. Okay, next is the economic and political dependence. So through international trade, we can gain more friends in terms of economics and politicals. Okay, and then of course, this is regarding demerits. Okay, meaning that by doing the international trade, okay, the countries become dependent, okay, towards the other countries. For example, okay, like Malaysia, okay, we don't have enough paddy field, okay, to produce the rice, okay, to produce the paddy, so we depends on Thailand. Okay, so if something happened to Thailand in terms of economic or in terms of disaster and so on, war, okay, so Malaysia will be affected. Okay, that is example of the demerits. Okay, and then regarding the transportation cost, of course, okay, doing international trade will involve high costs, okay, in terms of we need the air transportations or the water transportation and so on. Okay, next, okay, I would like to share, okay, the theories of international trade. Okay, but today I will just discuss.
Seringan isinya dosen kamu terus pakai bahasa Inggris mulu, aku sampai kayak waduh.
Yes. Pardon?
Carry on, doctor. Perhaps
Yeah.
let's just carry on, doctor.
So do I need to fix the language, doctor?
No. You are clear. You are clear. Very clear. Your language is very good, doctor. Please carry on, doctor.
Okay. So I need to just continue on in English, or I need to mix in bahasa? Is it okay for me to continue in English?
Yes, doctor, please.
Okay. Okay, so regarding the international trade theories, okay, today I would like to share with you, okay, the classical theory. Okay, we have three. Okay, the absolute advantage, comparative advantage, and also the actual holding theory. Okay, the first one is absolute advantage theory. Okay, so absolute advantage theory, okay, mentions that countries will trade depends on their ability to produce more efficiently, okay, than the other countries. Okay, so we have these assumptions. Okay, we'll assume only two countries produce two goods, okay, and there are free trade exit, okay, and no transportation costs and identical production functions between trading countries. Okay, these are the assumptions. Okay, but as I mentioned just now, of course, when the country deals with international trade, they will always have the transportation costs. Okay, so let's look at this table. Okay, the example from Malaysia and China, both are producing cotton and rice. Okay, so we assume both countries will use 100% of their resources. Okay, meaning that they will have 50% of the resources to produce cotton and 50% of the resources to produce the rice. Okay, so these are the output. Okay, Malaysia have 20 unit of cottons, okay, and 60 units of rice. Okay, and China have 40 units of cotton and 20 units of rice. Okay, so back to the table. Okay, we can see that, okay, cotton just now, okay, Malaysia and China. Okay, China is more efficient, okay, in producing the cotton. Okay, in contra, okay, Malaysia is more efficient, okay, in terms of producing the rice. Okay, so international trade will happen, okay, if, okay, each country, okay, they have absolute advantage in producing specific goods or specific products. For example, China have absolute advantage in producing cotton, okay, and Malaysia just now has absolute advantage in producing the rice. Okay, so next, okay, they can do specializations. Okay, specializations means that Malaysia and China now can use 100% of their resources in only one productions. Okay, and these are the outcome. Okay, Malaysia will have 120 units of rice, but none for the cotton, and China will have 80 units of cotton and none for the rice. Okay, so we look at the total output of the world, we can say that through specializations, both countries will have more products. Okay, so international trade will take place. Okay, so okay, we can see that the total productions of the world now is increasing, okay, through international trade. Okay, but okay, one issue occur. Okay, what happen if the country have absolute advantage in both goods? Meaning that one country is more efficient than the other countries. Okay, so come the second theory, comparative advantage. Okay, so in this example, okay, if we compare the cotton and rice, okay, we can say that Malaysia have efficient, okay, in productions for both. Okay, but in international trade, okay, we must have win-win situations. Okay, meaning that although in this example Malaysia is more efficient, we have to give opportunity for China to take part, okay, in the export and imports. Okay, so we need to calculate the opportunity cost. Okay, opportunity cost, okay, in economics, okay, is something we need to sacrifice to gain something. Okay, so here, we need to calculate the opportunity cost. Okay, when we calculate the opportunity cost, we will pick those who have the least opportunities. Okay, for example here, okay, after the calculations, okay, Malaysia has opportunity cost 0.17 when producing the cotton compared to China 0.5. Okay, about the rice, okay, the opportunity cost is 6 for Malaysia and 2 for China. So now we choose the least opportunity cost. Okay, meaning that with the least opportunity cost, we hope that the production cost will be decreased, and of course we can gain more profit, okay, and more income from the transactions. Okay, so pick, okay, the lowest. Okay, and the specializations will take place. Okay, so Malaysia will involve in the productions of cotton, okay, and China in rice. Okay, so total, okay, we have this number. So meaning that with the comparative advantage, we are giving our trade partner the opportunity to trade. Okay, at the end, okay, the world output is also increased. Okay, so this is regarding just now. Okay, the comparative advantage, okay, and the terms of trade. Okay, so these are the summary of the two theory, absolute advantage and comparative advantage. Okay, so absolute advantage means that the country which is efficient in the production will produce the products, and then they will export, okay, the goods and services to the other countries. Okay, but for the comparative advantage is looking for the least opportunity cost, okay, the lower cost. Okay, and of course the benefits, okay, for the absolute advantage will have talents and resources focused on productions. Okay, but for comparative advantage is focusing on more of efficient or saving resources. Okay, so regarding the cost, okay, absolute advantage, the cost is noticed but not made priority because they are focusing on the efficiency only. Okay, but for comparative advantage, they are more concerned about the cost. Okay, and regarding the productions just now, so according to the theory of absolute advantage, the country that is efficient, okay, in the production will produce the or will specialize in the productions, and then they will export the products. Okay, and but for the comparative advantage, we are giving each of the countries opportunity to trade. Okay, so we know negate, okay, we get it regarding just now, the optic cost. Okay, next, the third one is Asia Holding model. Okay, this is introduced by the Swedish economist Ali Osher Bertin Olin. Okay, the teacher and the student. Okay, so regarding the Asia Holding, okay, it more focus on the abundant resources. Okay, so according to Asia theorem, okay, a capital abundant country will export the capital intensive good, okay, while the country that have labor abundant will export the labor intensive goods. Okay, so meaning that the export and imports relates to the factor endowments. Okay, so they will export, okay, if they have relatively abundant factor. Okay, that is actual Holding theorem. Okay, so these are the diagram for HO model. Okay, they will involve in international trade if they have abundant factors or abundant resources. Okay, next is the protectionism. Okay, the tools used in international trade. Okay, as I mentioned, okay, to gain more income, okay, to gain more profit, of course, okay, each of the country, okay, every country will like to involve in international trade, okay, to have a bigger market and of course, more customers to gain profit just now. Okay, so but so in other way, okay, the country needs to protect their local industries, okay, in terms of competitions. Okay, that's why we have the tools or call it as protectionism. Okay, so the protectionism is the policy practiced by a nation, okay, on other nation in which certain barriers are imposed on trade for economic or non-economic reasons. Okay, so the reason protectionism, okay, as I mentioned, is to protect infant industries. Infant industries meaning that the local industries that are less than 5 years, okay, we call it as infant, okay, like a baby. Okay, the government need to protect them, okay, for their survival, okay, and their sustainability. Okay, and then to protect against unfair trade practice, okay, for example, in terms of competitions in prices, in terms of regulations and procedures, okay, so government needs to act, okay, to protect, okay, our local entrepreneur in terms of unfair trade practices. Okay, and then to protect domestic employment. Okay, so in doing the international trade, okay, of course, okay, it will give more job opportunities, okay, for the citizens. Okay, but in terms of international trade, okay, when the country do the export and import, okay, sometimes, okay, when the country decide to import, okay, the goods from the other countries, okay, the reason is to lower the cost, okay, just now like the opportunity cost, okay, what will happen to their uh, home citizen or their citizens, okay, they will lose their job, okay, if the productions become lesser and lesser. Okay, and then we have industrial diversifications, okay, this is in terms of we have more various of goods and services, we have more various of resources, okay, and of course, more markets. Okay, and then industrial diversification also in terms of protectionism, okay, although we encourage the international trade, somehow we need to protect, okay, the home industry or the local industry. Okay, so by, for example, by tax, okay, when the government impose tax on the imported goods, okay, although the goods is similar to the local products, okay, but in terms of the imported goods have been imposed tax, okay, their prices is much higher, okay, than the local. Okay, so in terms of that, it will sometimes help the local products. Okay, and of course, okay, the tax, okay, the tariff is the source of government revenue. And also the protectionism is to correct, okay, an adverse balance of payment. Okay, so in terms of balance of payment, okay, balance of payment is a statement regarding the money outflows and inflows from the country. So when the countries have the deficit balance of payment, okay, the government need to take actions. Okay, meaning that when there's BOP deficit, okay, there is more and more import, okay, than export. Okay, meaning that we buy more, okay, from the other countries. So government needs to do something. Okay, so these are the tools of protectionism. Okay, of course we have tariff, okay, and non-tariff. Okay, the quotas, the embargoes, import license, okay, the exchange control and export subsidy is known as the non-tariff. Okay, tariff is the tax, okay, levied on the imported goods. Okay, so in terms of competitions, okay, when the government impose or levy the tax, okay, the imported goods will be higher. Okay, so higher in terms of price, so it's good in terms of competitions. Okay, people will have choices. Okay, either they will like to buy the expensive goods or remain keep buying the local. Okay, so regarding the tariff just now, we have two types. Okay, the ad valorem tariff and also specific tariff. Okay, specific tariff is a fixed tax. Okay, meaning that all the imported goods, okay, given a certain amount of tax. Okay, for example, tariff at 10%. Okay, and then for the ad valorem tariff, okay, is specific amount, okay, for the imported goods. For example, for every 1,000 units, okay, the tax is RM20. Okay, that is the difference between specific and ad valorem. Okay, and then the quotas is the limitations of the imported quantity. Okay, meaning that the government strictly, okay, limit, okay, the number, okay, of the imported goods to our countries. And then we have embargoes. Okay, certain products are banned, okay, from to enter the countries, for example, like drugs. Okay, and then we have import license. So import license, government can control, okay, the number of exporters, okay, to other countries, and also the importers. Okay, so they can balance, okay, regarding the export and import just now. Okay, exchange control is regarding the currency. For example, in international trade, we always relies on the major currency, US dollar. So government also needs to have control regarding the rate of money. Okay, and then export subsidy is the government incentive, okay, to help the exporters in terms of to have the lower costs. Okay, so this is the last part, okay, regarding the balance of payment. As I mentioned, when we deals with international trade, of course, we need to document it, or we need to report it. Okay, so we call it as balance of payment. Okay, so balance of payments is the systematic record, okay, of all economic transaction between one country and the rest of the world during given period of time. Okay, so these are the structures of Malaysia balance of payment, BOP. We have current account, capital account, and official reserve account. Okay, so for current account, okay, is the most important part is the merchandise trade balance. Okay, where we have the export and import. Okay, the goods is stand for the imports and export. Okay, that is the current balance. Okay. Okay, we also have the service balance. Okay, so this is what it looks like in the BOP. Okay, we have goods and then services. Okay, so these are the goods balance and the services balance. Okay, next we have the current account. Okay, the second part. Okay, the current account is more on the, sorry. Okay, sorry, just now. Okay, I repeat again. Okay, so regarding the current account, okay, we have just now the goods, okay, the trade balance, okay, export and imports, and then the services, okay, and then the income. Okay, so balance of goods and services is merchandise trade, the export import just now, plus services, service balance. Okay, so this is still in the current account. Okay, we have net income and current transfer. Okay, so all of these will give the balance of current account. Okay, the second one is capital account. This is regarding the payment flows, okay, and purchase of foreign asset, okay, by Malaysians or Malaysian asset by foreigners. Sorry, okay, just now. Get back to this. Okay, so regarding the capital account, we have sorry, just now. Okay.
Doctor, do you have 5 minutes left, Doctor?
Okay. Okay, so okay, the third one is the official reserve account. Okay, so official reserve account is regarding the country reserve. Okay, meaning that the government have to guide, okay, the value of the currency. Okay, so to maintain the profits. Okay, so for the BOP, we have deficit and surplus. Okay, deficit when the import is greater than export, and surplus when we have export greater than import. Okay, so these are the difference. Okay, because when we have deficit, meaning that more and more of our currency will outflows, okay, from our countries, okay, and vice versa. Surplus means that we are receiving payment from the other countries. Okay, so the issue of the BOP, okay, for especially when BOP is deficit just now. Okay, we have more and more money outflows from our countries. Okay, we call it as disequilibrium. Okay, equilibrium. Okay, we have the money outflows equal with money inflows, but this equilibrium we have the other way. Okay, so these are the measures to correct the equilibrium or to correct the BOP deficit just now. Okay, the first one to discourage import, okay, by restrictions from the government, okay, and strictly procedure, okay, from before the goods enter the international market, okay, and then when the BOP deficit, okay, we assume, okay, the situation is somehow like inflations, okay, so the measures follow on how the government actions, okay, in terms of to solve inflations, okay, meaning that the okay, the government expenses will be lower, okay, but the tax will be higher. Okay, and then using the government reserve, okay, the government reserve is in the central bank, okay, to correct this equilibrium or the BOP deficit, okay, government will take up, okay, the reserve, okay, to help maintain the value of the currency. Okay, this is also the methods, okay, devaluations, meaning that our currency value depreciates, okay, compared to the other currency. Okay, when the money depreciates, okay, meaning that our purchasing power will become lower. So in hope, okay, people will buy less products, okay, especially the imported goods. Okay, and then export promotion in terms of government encourage more and more exporters to involve in international trade. Okay, with that, I thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
Very comprehensive explanation from you. So from Dr. Azhana just now, we have listened some issues regarding with the international trade, including the comparative advantage, competitive advantage, protectionism, and also balance of payments, including also the current and capital accounts. For sure, I know that all of you here have so many issues in mind regarding the export, import, and international trade, because it's one of the interesting issues when we are learning on economics, particularly macroeconomics. Because of the time limitation, Dr. Azhana, I would like to move a bit to the next speaker, namely Puan. I call you Puan, the Puan Maizatul Saadiah. Have you been with us, Puan? Okay. Could you please turn on your microphone, Puan Maizatul?
Sorry. I thought I on
Okay,
the
so
microphone.
Maizatul will be given around maximum 20 minutes to share with us in here, you everybody. And the topic is about basic macroeconomics relationship. And this topic actually is one of the interesting topic in the macroeconomics. And hopefully Puan Maizatul will give more insight and more information about how the relationship of the macroeconomic variables. So with
Can
that,
you see my slide? What's your name? Can you see my slide? Or you can share for me?
Okay, can you please share your slide, Puan?
Okay. Can you see my slide?
Still processed, Puan.
Okay.
Okay, you can start now, Puan. Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening.
Okay. Can you make the slide full screen, Puan, please?
Okay.
Yes, we can see your slide. Could you please make it bigger, Puan? Share screen, full screen, I mean.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, still offering. Okay. Okay.
Okay, perfect,
Okay.
Puan, please.
All right. My name is Maizatul Mohamad, and I was a senior lecturer at UiTM, University's Technology Mara Bakar. Stay with the Dr. Azhana. Okay. All right. So this topic actually is the basic macroeconomic relationship. But in our macroeconomic topic 211 is national income determination. All right. So, okay, to know the relation between income, consumption, and also saving. All right. So first we have to know what is the definitions of national income. All right. So we have two definitions here. National income is a total income earned by the factors of production. All right. Okay. Owned by a country citizen. So mine is Malaysian citizen. So you are Indonesian citizen. So based on the country citizen, factors of production actually is the land, labor, capital, and also the entrepreneurship. And this is another definition, is the flow of goods and services. All right, that can be obtained by a nation, and of course is usually a year, I think. All right, so this is national income equilibrium. All right, actually the national income equilibrium is have to equal AS equal to AD. So AS actually is the aggregate supply. Okay, refer to the quantity of food produced by the firm or producer, and this one is refer to aggregate demand is the total quantity good purchase, refer to the consumer. And then this is another definition. Leakage is equal to injection. Right. So for this topic, actually, we have two formula, right? Whether we equal the AS equal to demand, aggregate demand, or AS actually is the income. The symbol for the income is Y. So Y is equal to AD, or we can use another formula, leakage equal to injection. All right. So as I said, the aggregate demand is the total amount the economy spends in a given period. Okay. And this is aggregate supply is the total amount the economy produce in a given period. So this is Y, this is demand. And this is another formula, is a leakage injection. All right, so we try to equal the leakage, equal with the injection. So leakage actually is the outflow of money, right, in the circular flow of income, whether it's a saving S, okay, taxes, E, and import is the M, right? What about injection? Injection is inflow of money, all right, into the circular flow of income. Example, investment, government expenditure, G, the symbol G, I, and also the export. All right, so this is circular of income. All right, what I'm trying to say is, which one is the leakage and which one injection. All right, you can see here household. All right, household, they can do consumption, okay, consume all the goods and services, and also they have to do a saving here. And as a household, all right, we have to pay income tax, the taxes, and sometimes maybe they are buy the import goods. So this is what we call leakage, saving, tax, and import. What about businesses, all right, injection? These businesses or user, they do investment, and we have government spending here, and also export of goods and services. So this is what we call injection. That's why we have to equal leakage equal to injection. All right. So in economy, actually, we have four sectors, right? First sectors actually is a consumer only. Two sectors is consumer and firms. Three sectors is C plus I plus G, consumer, firms, government. Four sector, all right, we have X minus import, X and import here. That is what we call open economy. Example, Malaysia, okay. have all of these. So we is a 4 sectors, is an open economy. All right. Most of the country is open economy. All right. So this is a formula I have to alert for this topic. All right. So we can use whether AS equals to AD, whether leakage equal to injection based on the question asking you. All right. So the first sector is Y equal to C, because of we have the formula Y equal to C plus S. Y is the national income, C is the consumption, S is the saving. All right, by AS equal to AD, for one sector, you have to equal Y equal to C. And automatically, leakage injection is S equal to 0. And then two sectors, okay, we have consumer, we have C and I, consumption and investment. And leakage equal to injection, for two sectors, you have to use this formula, S equal to I. Three sectors, C plus I plus G, but for leakage injection, S plus T, I plus G. And then the last one is the fourth sector, C plus I plus P plus X minus M. As I said that open economy, all right, we add this item, export and import. So leakage injection, S plus T plus M equal to I plus G plus X. All right. Okay, what is the consumption? Okay, consumption is expenditure made by household, right? Example, like I buy some goods and services, let's say in the Shopee, Lazada, or any TikTok, okay, I buy. That is my expenditure as a household. So in this topic, we have consumption function, okay, to show the relation between C and Y. All right, so we have C consumption equal to consumption function equal to A autonomous consumption, and also B is the MPC. All right, MPC you have to times with Y. All right, so we have two categories of C. We have autonomous and we have induced, the MPC, marginal productivity of consumption. All right, so I said that consumption, we have autonomous consumption. Okay, so A is autonomous consumption, B is the induced consumption. So what is autonomous? Autonomous means, all right, the C is not depends on the income. So if your income is equal to 0, so still have the autonomous consumption. Okay, example, necessary goods, all right. Induced consumption, it means that the C, change in C is depends in Y. Okay, all right, it depends on the income of Y. All right, so this C equal to A plus BY, okay, autonomous. So B actually is the MPC, yeah? MPC is the marginal propensity consumed. Example 0.8, yeah? All right, so this is example consumption function. Let's say they give A autonomous consumption as a 100, and then 0.7 is the MPC, right? C equal to 100 plus 0.71. So this is the consumption function. So A equal to 100, autonomous consumption. B equal to MPC is a 0.7. All right. So what about saving function? If your C function is A, so automatically your saving function is negative plus your MPC is a B. So your MPS is a 1 minus B. Okay, because MPC plus MPS is equal to 1. All right, that is the formula. And negative A is a D saving. All right, or negative saving. So this is example. Let's say, okay, let's say our consumption is 100 plus 0.7. So S is equal to negative 100 plus 1 minus 0.7. So it's a 0.3 Y. Okay. Right. So MPC plus MPS is equal to 1. All right. So this is some example. C is equal 150 plus 0.8Y. So your D saving actually is a negative 80. All right. Wait, negative 150 is D saving. Autonomous C is 150 is the A. MPC is 0.8. MPS is 1 minus 0.8 is a 0.2. What about S equal to negative 80 plus 0.3Y? Okay. This saving is negative 80. Autonomous consumption, okay, is 80. MPC is a 1 minus 0.3 is a 0.7. Okay. Actually, this one is the MPS 0.3. Okay, because we are given you saving function, not consumption function. All right. Okay, this is marginal propensity to consume. So actually, it's the B. In the table, if you want to get the MPC, you have to divide change in C divide by change in Y. All right, it's the slope of the C actually. Yeah? All right. So MPS is a 1 minus B, or change in S divided by change in Y. Okay, this is several formula. APC. APC is C over Y. APS is S over Y. Okay, you have to divide by Y. Okay, MPC plus MPS is equal to 1. APC plus APS also is equal to 1. And Y equal to C plus S. Right, if you remember the formula, okay, you lagi mudah lah nak mudah untuk you nak selesaikan formula. Alright, so this is Islamic consumption function, Fahim Han. Right, so E equal to E1 plus E2. Okay. Alright. So E1 actually is a fulfill self and family material need. Okay, this one is for current and future consumption. And E2 actually is refer on zakat, or you can fulfill other needs only because of Allah or to achieve Allah. So E2 is the minimum amounts of paying zakat. So actually the portion between E1 and E2 is based on the individual, however, individual degree of keimanan and ketakwaan as a Muslim. So encourage to put effort toward E2 is the minimum amount to paying zakat, right? So E1 actually is equal to C1 plus S1, all right? C1 plus S1. C1 is a current consumption, and S1 is the saving and investment currently made for future consumption. Saving and investment currently, but you are made for future consumption. So E2 is equal to C2 plus S2. So C2 actually is a current consumption, and then S2 is an investment made for the benefit societies. So that's why E equal to C1 plus S1 in the bracket of plus C2 plus S2 in the bracket. The formula of the consumption, Islamic consumption. So what is the factor that determines the distributions of income towards E1 and E1 and E2? Right. So this is several of factors: whether consumer rationality and disposable income. All right. YT is the disposable income. Okay, Y minus zakat. Or we can say that in conventional term, okay, you have to pay a tax, income tax, all right? So this one is the investment, okay? All right, investment is a spending by a firms or formulations of capital. Example, they invest on plant, any equipment, all right, that is an investment. Or we can say that is the flow of increase in the stock of capital increase. Right, so this is types of investment. We have autonomous, we also have induced, and if you see the graph, right, the I for autonomous is constant because they are not depends on the Y, and induced is depends on the Y. The Y increase, the investment also increase. All right, so as I said, that autonomous investment is a portion of total investment by a government or other institution. Okay, independent, not depends on the income. So this is example, government investment, funds allocation to the public goods. All right, but in this investment, it depends on the income or why. Example, consumption expenditure, government purchase on goods or net. All right, so this is a factor that influences investment in the conventional terms, expected rate of return, interest rate. Okay, this is a normal thing, right? You invest based on your return, you invest based on interest rate. Interest rate is the cost of borrowing, right? If you have lower interest rate, then you can borrow more. right? Levels of technology, okay, government policies, and expectation of the future, and also the profit. Okay, expected rate of return. Okay, if the rate of return is more than your cost, and finally is profitable, then higher return, higher investment. Okay, interest rate, as I said, that is the cost of borrowing. Lower interest rate, cost of borrowing, okay, will decrease. Yeah, cost untuk you pinjam rendah, and then finally investment you akan meningkat lah. Investment will increase. Levels of technology, advanced technology, the investment will increase, and vice versa. Okay, inferior technology, investment will increase. Okay, more stock, less investment, right? And okay, this is some of government policy. If they give more subsidy to producer and finally investment will increase. Okay, what about corporate tax? If the lower corporate tax, then investment will increase. Tax on producer, investment will decrease. Okay. Profit gain from the previous year will influence investment. Some investment are financed from the previous year profit. So higher profit, higher investment. Expectation of the future, good expectation about the future. All right, if your future is a good expectation, and finally your investment will increase. All right, that is a conventional perspective, but now this is Islamic perspective. So what is the factor that influence the Islamic in terms of investment? Halal and haram limitation, investment priority, the prohibitions of interest, and all the factors that influence investment from the conventional perspective, also interest rate. Okay, halal and haram limitation, and of course, as Islamic, we have to alert about the permissible or halal activity are allowed. Okay, all the activities you have or you cannot against the Sharia. Okay, and then investment priority. Investment must be based on the desires of human. Hierarchy of goods. In Islamic, we have daruriyat, hajiyat, kamaliyat, barang keperluan, barang hendak, sama-sama lah. Okay, investment should highlight on well-being, side profitable. So, you punya matlamat or focus as a producer, not only profitable, but also the well-being of human. Okay, in Islamic lah. Right, prohibition of interest. In Islam, riba is prohibited. Alright, so the alternative to riba is profit sharing. Okay. Alright, and also anything that affected from the conventional perspective, example, expected rate of return, profit, government policy also influence the investment in Islamic terms. Alright, so national income equilibrium formula. Okay, I will show you. In the first sector, or we can say that is a break-even income. Okay, when the break-even income, so Y is equal to C, and you don't have any saving. So given function, C equal to 100 plus 0.6Y. And then they are asking you to calculate the national income using both approach. Mean AS equal to AD approach. Another one is the injection leakage. Okay. All right. So, okay, C, and this one is the S. Okay. If C is 200, then S is a negative A, so negative 200. This one, 1 minus 0.6 is a 0.4. So S equal to 0, Y equal to C. Okay. Okay. All right. So Y equal to C. Y is 200 plus 0.6. C is 200 plus 0.6Y. So you have to equal to Y. And finally, S equal to 0. So S actually is the negative 200 plus 0.4Y is equal to 0. Okay. All right. Okay. So Y equal to C. Okay. Finally, your equilibrium of income is 500. Okay. Y equal to 200 plus 0.6Y. Okay. And then Y, okay, You have to minus with the 0.6. Y equal to 200. Y is equal to 1. 1 minus 0.6 is 0.4. Y equal to 200. And finally, to get the equilibrium income is Y 500. Also 500. Okay. Both formula actually you can get the same. Okay, for two sector, Y equal to C plus I and S equal to I, right? So I is 80, S equal to I. Negative 100 plus 0.3, Y equal to 18. This one, right? So Y equal to C plus I, okay. C is equal to 100 plus 1 minus 0.3 is a 0.7 Y. Plus 80 is the investment, okay. And finally, okay, your answer is Y equal to 600. This is your national income equilibrium for two sectors. Okay, three sectors, C plus I plus T, S plus T, I plus T. Okay. YD is Y minus T because you have taxes here. Okay. Wait, C, okay, is 100 plus 0.7 Y. And Y you have to minus with the T, 10. Right? And finally, right, this is the net consumption, 93 plus 0.7 Y. Okay. Okay, using both NI equilibrium for this income. So, okay, Y equal to 150 plus 0.8 Y minus 10. Okay, plus 100 plus G. Okay, and finally 15.0. Same answer, but different approach. Okay, this is for factors, right? The question. And finally, this is the answer. Okay, C. Okay, you have to get the net C. Okay, deduct with the taxes. I plus G plus X minus M. Okay, this is the information given. And finally, Y is 1010. Okay. All right, so this is the calculation of new I. If there is a change in I, change, okay, in G, right? So, increase, decrease, if the word to and by is different. Okay. Calculate the national income equilibrium. Okay, finally, Y equal to C plus I plus G. Okay. Yes, sir. But B, calculate the new national income equilibrium. So not 1510, but you can try it new. When if the government spending increase to when the word to, okay, increase to 90. Okay, government spending is 60. Okay, what about G1? Okay, G1 is a 90, increase to 90. Okay, so finally, we use the same formulation. All right, Y equal to 1660. Okay. Calculate the new national income if the government spending increased by, okay, this one too, this one by 70. So how much G1? Huh? Okay, G1 is, all right, 60 plus 70 is the 120. And finally, we're using the same formula. So the new national income equilibrium is 1830. Okay. Okay. All right, so what is a multiplier? Okay, this is multiplier when increase or change, cost increase or change in many other related variables. Okay, change in Y. And finally, we have three multiplier, whether it's a KI, KG, or KT. Yeah? All right, multiplier KI, KG, KT. Only these three multiplier. K is a multiplier in random. All right, so this is KI. KI, the formula is 1 minus B. Okay, and remember, B is MPC, MPS 1 minus B. So this is 1 minus MPS. Okay, so this is KG, same formula with the KI, but tax multiplier quite different. It's a negative B divided by 1 minus B. Okay, this is example. All right. Okay, we have as 1 minus negative 200. 0.3 is a 3.33. Yeah? Okay. Right. What is the explanation for KG? If the government spending increased by 50, national income will increase by 50 times with the 3.33 render. So finally, your income is the 166.50. So this is change in income. Okay. All right. So you have plus, you have to add the new original YE, the equilibrium, plus how much the change. Let's say this one is a 166.50, so you have to plus with the YE. Okay. KI, KG, KT. Okay, you have to add in the original income. But this is the example. Okay. Calculate the new national income equilibrium if the investment increased by 60. So the change is 60. 1 minus 1 minus B. Right? So you have to find the K first. And finally, we will add to the change. For example, the change is 199 in 80. So you have to add with a 7433.33. Okay. Same to 260. But remember, 260 you have to minus, so that's why it's a 10. And finally, you just add to the equilibrium. Okay, same. So what about graph? So this is the first sectors. Okay, first sectors is a Y equal to C. Yeah? Right, it's a positive. S is a negative A. Yeah? Okay, this is two sectors, C plus I. Okay, I and government is a straight line. Yeah? Okay, what about three sectors? So this is three sectors graph. Four sectors. We have G plus X and also T plus M. Okay. So actually C plus A plus BY actually is the NTC. In graph is the intercept. Right? A is here. All right. So we have slope here. Okay. How to get the intercept? All right. You have to divide Z divide by D. Okay. Same. Okay. Example. This one is 18 minus 10. This one 15 minus 5. So finally you get 0.8. It's the NTC. Right? Intercept. Okay, this is break-even income when the S equal to 0. Okay, same formula with the Y equal to C. Right? Okay, so you have to remember this in table. Y is equal to C plus S. If you want to get the MPC, the formula is change in T divided by change in Y. Okay. Alright, so this is table that you can refer. For example, okay, consumption, MPC is the change in consumption. You have to divide 1500 minus with the 800, and then you have to divide with the 2000 minus 1000. You can get the MPC. Okay, this one. And you have to remember that MPC is 0.7 for every single of income, right? But APC and APS is different. Okay, because it's limited time, I try to make it faster. Okay, this is the last part, inflationary gap and deflationary gap. Okay, so inflationary gap means your economy, okay, when operating in full employment, what happens is inflation. And this is what we call deflation or recession. Okay, all right. So inflation gap means injection is more than leakage, right? Increase in the price level, the levels of economy is active. Right, you have to make sure that YE is more than YF. YF is the full employment. Y is the Y equivalent. Okay, what about deflation? Deflation means YE is less than YF. Okay, so this is inflationary gap and deflationary gap curve. All right. All right. Actually, in the question, they have they asking you to draw a sketch. Okay. The inflationary gap, show the inflationary gap. All right. So if you see inflationary gap means YE is more than YF. Okay. And deflationary gap is this is the gap ADF EDE. Right. YF is more than YE. Okay. This is for I S equal to I. Right. It's one injection with cash. So this is the gap, inflationary gap, deflationary gap. Right? And you have to make sure that the key is you have to make sure YE is more than YF. It's inflationary gap, deflationary, YF is more than YE. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for your insightful presentation. Very comprehensive, Doctor, for in terms of the relationship between variables in national income. Because time limitation, Doctor, we will move to the next presenter first. I would like to call, please, our next speaker, namely Dr. Abu Sufian from Universiti Utara, Malaysia. Thank you, Doctor, for your for your attendance today. So, Dr. Abu Sufian would like to share with us. Actually, it is the continuation of the previous discussion from Madam Maizatul. So he will be presenting on extending the analysis on aggregate supply. So it's another interesting topic as well. So I'd like to let you, Doctor, for maximum maybe 20 minutes to share your presentation. Time is yours, Dr. Abu.
And can you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you very much, Dr. Dimas. I'm very gratitude for your invitation me to present to this forum. Okay, normally I try to make it faster because that is very difficult to explain this aggregate demand without any doing the drawing the graph. In my university, when we teach this aggregate demand, it took about maybe 2 or 3 class to explain about the aggregate demand, which is they are very technical. They need involve a lot of mathematical so that they can understand better. Okay, but I try to make it more simple. And the other thing also, when we discuss aggregate supply, we also need to know the aggregate demand curve. Okay, then we can do the final equilibrium, which is we call it the general equilibrium. All market into one analysis. Okay, for your information, maybe some of students maybe don't know. In macroeconomy, normally we have 2 curves that we use to analyze the equilibrium for the whole country. The first one is the aggregate demand, and the second one is the aggregate supply. I'm going to explain the aggregate supply curve, not the aggregate demand. In the aggregate demand, but I need to explain also in the aggregate demand, we discuss, or in aggregate demand, we have 2 markets. One is the good market, and the second one is the money market, or monetary market, or money market. In economy, we call it money market. But in some other school, they also have another market. They call it financial market. Money market and financial market is different. Okay. In economy, we are interested on money, monetary or money market. But some school, they are looking at the financial market. Okay, we are talking about the money market, the money itself, not the financial, not how the money is distributed in the market. Okay, so that is a 2 market in aggregate demand. In aggregate supply, we have another market. We call it labor market. Okay, so normally when we talk about the aggregate supply, we are talking about the labor market. Then the combination of aggregate demand and aggregate supply, actually we are combining good market, money market, and also the labor market together. Then we can analyze the impact of economy or whatever impact by using these two curves. But today I'm going to explain only the aggregate supply. All right. So I'm going to go faster as fast as I can. It's not working here. I don't know what happened. Okay. Okay, this is the aggregate supply. So aggregate supply, normally when we talk about the aggregate supply, we divide it into two. One is the short run and the second one is the long run. We need to understand these two type of aggregate supply. This is very important because if you don't understand what are the difference between short run and a long run aggregate supply, then you will have a problem to do some simulation when we talk about any disturbance or any anything happen to the economy. So we cannot understand. In the short run, I just explained simple in the short run. The short run market, they are mostly affected by the change in the price. The price here we are talking about the general price, which is the CPI, Consumer Price Index.
Hello, Dr. Abu. Abu, are you still with us? Abu Sufian, are you still with us? I think you're blacked out there, doctor. Okay. Okay, because I think Dr. Abu has a technical problem over there.
I think we just move to the next speaker. Meanwhile, waiting for Dr. Abu's technical error there. Yeah, maybe he's still settling the technical things that we come from the connection particularly. So I'd like to just let the next speaker first. Maybe Dr. Ghiyosiddin Nurov. Are you ready, Doctor?
Yes.
Okay, Doctor, because of the technical error from our previous speaker, so because the time also is limited, so I just pass to you first, meanwhile waiting for the previous speaker to settle the problem. Would you mind to start now, Dr. Nurov?
Sure. Is my voice clear?
Okay, please. Time is yours. Maximum for 20 minutes, sir. You can share your screen. Make it a full screen, sir. Time is yours.
Okay. Okay, let me first share my screen. Let me go to my presentation. Do you see my presentation?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I can see yours now. Clear, please.
So without further ado, I would like to start my presentation just as quick as possible. Sorry, I got a flu. I caught cold actually. That's why I beg your pardon if I don't continue well. So first of all, I would like to actually present my honest and sincere gratitude towards the organizers of current event, especially to Dr. Dimas for having us and people around the world right now, especially students and lecturers. And I would like to say my salam alaikum to people of Indonesia, Malaysia, and those who are watching us. So without further ado, let's get started. My name is Ghiyosiddin Nurov. R stands just R from epiglottis. Nurov is my surname. It is Russified surname from the Soviets, from Russians. But anyway, you can call me Ghiyosiddin Nurzov. Sorry. So I will have been talking about the business and investment opportunities in Republic of Tajikistan. First of all, yeah, I forgot to say where I work. I work for International University of Tourism and Entrepreneurship of Tajikistan, Institute of Tourism, Department of Tourism Business, Recreation and Hospitality. Since my department is just business, that's why I do my best to enlighten students, especially in a very effective way. So let's move forward. I would like to give a brief information before knowing about the country where potential investors are going to invest. I would like to give them a brief geographical information. For those who are actually familiar with just the history, you might know the geographical location of Tajikistan. As you know, Tajikistan was part of USSR, Union Soviet of Socialist Republics, from 1929 until 1991, until the collapse of USSR. So when you look at its location, probably you see my screen here. Okay, here you see we are located in the Central Asia, which we share borders with 4 strategic neighboring countries. So exactly, we are located in southeast of Central Asia. So we share borders with China here, the east, okay, and then in the west north with Uzbekistan here. You see here Uzbekistan, and of course in the north here you see Kyrgyzstan. And of course, in the south with Afghanistan. Afghanistan is the country which we share the longest border with. And territory is 142,000 square kilometers and a population of around 10 million people. So compared to Malaysia, Indonesia, and Turkey, it's not such populated country. So the capital city is Dushanbe here, you might see. And it's made up of 4 administrative divisions, okay? So first, which is located in the north, we call it Surd region. The one which is located here, so here I wrote in Russian, so Gorno-Badakhshan Autonomous Oblast, we said Mountainous Badakhshan Autonomous Region here, which we share border with China and with Afghanistan here. So there's little corridor, tiny little and long corridor of Wakhan corridor, which is quite strategic for both Afghanistan, Pakistan, and also Tajikistan, and of course China. And we have Khatlon region in the south. And here around Dushanbe city, we call it districts of Republican subordination, which we Tajik call it Noyahoy Tobey Jumhuri. So we speak Tajik language. I mean, state language, official language is Tajik language, but due to Russian language hegemony, I would say, so not some people might not be happy with the word I say hegemony, but still it is. With the Russian language hegemony, we use Russian language as a business language, of course. So it's normal when you go in the street of Tajikistan, you see people speaking Russian. So that's normal. So we use currency. We say Tajikistani somoni. We say Tojik somoni. Briefly, we say TJS. Now, as you see, there is no, because we look at it in the Central Asia, we don't have direct access to the sea. We don't have any sea access here. So to some people, it might see a disadvantage. But apart from that, it also advantage because we share border with one of the, I would say, the top product producing country, China, which is quite strategic. That means when you import some goods from China, there is actually no long distance to Tajikistan. You import from here and take it here, right? So it means we can also say you save up your money. I mean, in terms of road cost, you don't spend much. Now, because topic is business opportunities or business and investment opportunities in Tajikistan, right? As you know, because as an investor, before going and invest in a specific region with certain amount of money, I have to think a lot. I mean, just I have to think, where am I going to? Is it worth of going and investing there or not? This is a main question that we need to answer, because in most countries, I mean, generally investors do not invest just randomly, right? Now the question is, why should someone go and invest in Tajikistan? I just answered it in 4 or 5 here. So number 1 is strategic geographical location. As I said, we share border with China, and in the Northwest, we share with Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan is one of the, I mean, in terms of production, good production, is one of the top countries in Central Asia, with a population of more than 300 million, right? So it's not a joke, it's real. So another core factor is stability, political and economic stability, because in terms of politics, I mean, no one goes and just invest in a country in which there's a war. I don't need to just give the name of countries, right? You know what's going on in the world right now. So we got political and economic stability. And number 3, I would say all-around support of private businesses and entrepreneurship, because government of Tajikistan strongly support private sectors, right? Especially foreign investors, because there is an initiative, and also there is sort of privilege from central government, from the government of Tajikistan. As an investor of Grey, it's just a huge advantage. And natural resources, right? Natural resources, because we are, as a country, one of the top producing cotton and cotton-like goods. And because last one, rapidly growing infrastructure, because to be honest, Tajikistan is not just at the level of US or China. I mean, still we get a huge developing economy. So that means it's a huge and important opportunities for people who are trying to invest here. You ask me why, right? Some of you just might wonder why. Because it is the market is not that big. So there's still gaps that should be filled, right? That's why, I mean, compared to US market or China market, I mean, it's not same. As an investor, as a business owner, as a startup, I would say, it's a huge opportunity for you, and go and just invest there. That's why I see it as a I would say advantage for potential investors. Now, I did my best here to share with you some graphs here, some statistics as well. The statistics all belong to state statistics here. So you see here dynamic of foreign investments, between 2016 till 2021. You see there's a serious amount of investments here going on. Now, the second one, as you see, FDI, foreign direct investment by sectors in 2021. You see here 64% belong to mining, because I've spoken here about the natural resources. Mining is one of the top sectors in our land. We see a lot of foreign investors here. I mean, just a lot. I mean, just people who are investors who are trying to get into the market and to invest, because investment is a sort of business as well. That's why I just named the title Investment, Business and Investment Opportunities in Tajikistan. I beg your pardon. So, and it's immediately followed by 11% by constructions, because our country is, I mean, currently compared to US, as I said, or to Turkey, we just got our independence since 1991. We got sovereign state, which is whole construction and sovereignty belong to our nation, right? That's why we need to build, we need to urbanize by urbanization, I'm talking about just building infrastructure, right? I mean the building infrastructures. Excuse me. We got industry, finances, and tourism. Of course, tourism is a field that just I work for right now at university, which I'm a lecturer, right? So this is a foreign direct investment by foreign investors in 2021. So gradually moving forward, why somebody actually invest, why somebody should invest in Tajikistan, right? So I give you some here numbers, privileges actually. This statistics, the information that's written here actually, all state numbers, state statistics. So it is very reliable. I even just give you some references which should go on your own and look for them, right? So now you consider, for example, you're an investor, you do your best to just go and invest in Tajikistan. So you ask me, why should I go and invest? So government offers you certain privileges. So privilege number one is just tax exemptions. I mean, tax, you know, for those, I mean, whether you got just a law degree, economics degree, I don't know, business degree, you know, the core system of government is tax. I mean, all these infrastructures, you see that public services, all of those are operated by tax. Taxes are just directly or indirectly being paid by citizens. So they should be used strategically in order to keep country's economy stable, right? So that's why government like Tajikistan actually offering foreign investors to come. So why should I come? Because they say, okay, we offer you certain exceptions here. Number one, for example, for 2 years with an investment up to $5,000 US, so you're exempt of what? Of paying profit tax or income tax for 2 years. So if you make an investment from $500,000 to $2 million US, you'll be exempt for 3 years of profit tax. So what if you make investment just between 2 million and 5 million US dollar, right? So you'll be exempt for 4 years. What if you increase it for just for 5 million? So for 5 million for 5 years. So as an investor, imagine if I were an investor, I just still, for me, it's a huge market. It's a huge privilege. You ask me why? Because I see the country still there's a gap. So those gaps should be filled with serious investors. Because on the other hand, state strongly supports and gives privileges for what? For making private business ownership here in the land of Tajikistan, right? So let's move forward. Now we have certain industries or certain sectors that made up of core factors within any country globally. Any country, just you name it. US, Germany, I don't know, former USSR, former, I don't know, US, everywhere, Indonesia, Malaysia. So if I listed agriculture, if you remember, I said we got sort of disadvantage because we don't have direct access to the sea, but we got numerous advantages. Like what? Like agriculture. Agriculture, for example, you decided to invest your current money in agriculture. So you need what to do? You need to import agricultural equipment. I don't know, just combines, tractors, whatever just comes to your mind, right? What to do? You need to import them. So you will be exempt from what? Customs duties. So when you're in customs duties, there's no tax. When you are, you're supposed to be just paying what? VAT, value tax, still exemption. Now, because for us, cotton is quite important commodity, just good, right? So that's why cotton fiber is one of the top exporting product in Tajikistan. So state still says to you, so do your best, export as much as you can, so you'll be exempt from what? From paying the tax. just whatever comes to your mind. Cotton fiber, cotton yarn, even raw cotton. Now, so wheat, wheat, just wheat. There's no, if there's no, I mean, for people like Central Asia inhabitants, I mean, we love wheat so much. We use it on a daily basis. Just me, myself, I know sometimes it's unhealthy, but still, it's inevitable not to be eating just or consuming wheat on a daily basis. So state says to you, okay, now do your best to import or export or to have some activity, well, through just wheat. So still you'll be applied 10% rate. Now, whatever comes to delivery of its processing, whatever comes to your mind, because Tajikistan is heavily country which depends on agriculture. Can you imagine 20%, 23% of our GDP is agriculture? 23% is agriculture. Now, 70% of the jobs which is available is provided by agriculture. And 25% of our economic exports or exports still what? Agriculture. So agriculture is one of the leading sector in Tajikistan. Industry, because industry, maybe someone text me, no, from chat. Okay, right. All right. So the same thing could be applied for industry, right? So in industry, whatever comes to your mind, like leather, wool, raw silk, other agricultural raw materials, still there will be exemption from your profit. So there is no profit, and there is no tax from your profit, whether it comes just a VAT, profit tax, road tax, customs duty. When it comes to precious stones, jewelries, and jewelry likes stones and products, still the same application is being applied. Okay, let's move forward. Medicine, same thing. Medicine is vital in every country. So medical and pharmaceutical products, equipments, still no tax is applied. So still there's exemption. When it comes to power energy, by power energy, we mean actually HPP, hydropower plants, because hydropower plants, generally the electricity is generated from HPP in our country and in the countries which they are rich in water, right? That's why all the people who are actually attempting to construct HPPs, they're exempt from value-added taxes, tax roads, profit tax, and things like that. Okay, import of equipment as well, tourism as well. Tourism, because Tajikistan is one of the countries which is not so well known for tourism. I don't know why, but for tourism as well. I mean, when you have your own startups as a tourism and a tour agency, still you are not. It's not obligatory for you to pay taxes, I mean VAT and taxes like that for 5 years, right? So last one, okay, I don't take your time so much. Last one is about FEZ, which we call the Free Economic Zone. So according to legislation, the government passed a bill, and it's mentioned that for foreign investors, even for local investors who are attempting to invest, we offer them certain opportunities, right, in order to be exempt from tax. So the dots which you see here, okay, in yellow color here, there are economic zones. One is in Panj, Dangara, Kulob, in Sult region, and one is Ishkoshim. So in these regions, in these areas, in these zones, actually, whatever you do, actually, whether you import goods, products, from local market or from overseas market, from foreign markets, still no taxes will be applied. So it is not obligatory for you to pay any sort of tax. Why government actually doing this initiatives in order to attract foreign investors? Yeah, I mean, foreign investors, in order to attract more, it will be win-win case for both parties, right? So that's why I did my best to keep the presentation brief, because I know we are running out of time. So this is the end of my presentation. We got here some references, all state statistics references. They are reliable. For those who are eager to go and look further, please do your best and look for these references. So I would say a big thank you for those who were here, right? Because I can't continue further, and this is the end of my presentation. If you got any question, please do your best to text or just ask. And thanks again. That's it for me. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Ghiyosiddin for your very light. So we have already 4 presenters just now regarding some issues that interesting to be discussed today. So I would like to open the floor to raise a question. But before that, you can also raise your hand before you would like to ask. And also you can also put your question in the chat box if you feel that you are more convenient to put it in the chat box. Please, dear participant, you have any concern? You have any other question, please? I guess we have one question here in the chat from our students. Brother Fahim, yeah? Brother Fahim, are you still with us, Brother Fahim? Brother Fahim Haidar, are you still with us?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, so Brother Fahim here is our international student program from Bangladesh. So he's also our full-time student at the International Program for Islamic Finance. Brother Fahim, would you please to ask you to raise your question directly to the speakers, please? If you also would like to ask other speakers, is also allowed, Brother Fahim. Let me see us, Brother Fahim.
Okay, sir. So first of all, I want to thank to all of our speakers today. It was really insightful presentation. I'm sure like we as students, we have learned a lot of things from them. So my question is from the first speaker, Dr. Azhana. We know that like after the last election in the United States, after the Donald Trump had elected, he already like threatened to BRICS nation if they want to form a currency for export and import. And he said like if there is a new currency that then we will impose maybe 25% or 30% tariffs on their imported goods in the United States. And the last week he also like threatened European Union. He stated something like they have to import more oils and gas from US because there is like trade gaps between US and the European Union. If they don't do that, they will again impose more tariffs. But my question is like we know that in the last couple of years, USA also have been facing a lot of problems like economic crisis, like inflation and etc. So now, since he is like giving threat and to like a lot of countries, is maybe there is a like it will affect the foreign investment. Maybe there will be a reduction of foreign direct investment, or like there will also be more inflation if they impose more tariffs on the foreign goods. So is it really, my question is like, is it really effective for USA to do this kind of threatening to other countries? I just want to know the speaker's opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Fahim. Do you have any other question to other speakers other than Dr. Azhana?
No, sir, that's all.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Fahim, for your direct questions. Before I pass to the speakers, is there any other question from the participant, from the audience, please? Other question from other students, please? Okay. While waiting for other questions, I would like also to ask some questions to the speakers, if you don't mind, Madam Maizatul and also Dr. Ghiyosiddin. My question to Madam Maizatul, I'm also interested to hear your presentation about two sectors, three sectors, four sectors, yeah, right now. And if we focus on the four sectors economy, we include the international trade as presented by Dr. Azhana. And right now, we are facing a condition whereby our exchange rate right now, particularly in Indonesia, is getting depreciated against US dollars. So right now, if for information, the way $1 in Indonesia right now equal to 16,000 and almost 300 rupiahs per US dollars. And the trend is depreciated over time, seems to be like that. So theoretically, the depreciated currency is expected to raise or to increase the export. But some facts, the data somehow shows that even though the depreciated currency happened, but the export is not that significantly improved at first. So maybe based on your observation, to what extent the relationship or the magnitude between the depreciated currency to the export in particular countries, is it positively related actually, or others, doctor, or negative? Maybe I need your maybe advice. And
Right.
yeah, and the next question, I pass to the next presenters, Dr. Ghiyosiddin, another question. Dr. Ghiyosiddin, you presented a very interesting pictures about Tajikistan economy, and we saw that so many opportunities, yeah, that could be collaborated between Indonesia, Malaysia, perhaps to Tajikistan. My question so far, what is the main challenges, doctor, that you maybe observe in order to invest in your country, perhaps? So what the thing that should be noticed by the investors, whether the tax issues or perhaps the product qualification or whatever, doctor, so that we can prepare that one better. Maybe that's my concern to Dr. Ghiyosiddin and also Madam Maizatul. And also Dr. Azhana, just now question from our students. So I pass to you all the session to you, please, doctors and Madam, to respond.
What's your okay, Dr. Azhana, you first.
Okay, so thank you for the question just now. Okay, so regarding the US threatens to the BRC countries, okay, okay, as we know, US have been major countries, okay, in major trading countries, okay, or we can say that US have been dominant, okay, in international trade for years. Okay, then all country, okay, using US dollar in terms of their transactions. So in terms of like I mentioned just now, okay, if our country deals with international trade to gain more profit, to gain income, okay, for the economic growth and so on, okay, if we are using the US dollar currency, okay, sometimes we can't have the expected income or expected profit because we some sort loss, okay, when we convert our ringgit Malaysia to US dollar and then only we trade, Okay, for example, if Malaysia trade with Indonesia, we need to convert our currency to US dollar and then we do the trade. So some sort of, we are losing that. Okay, so the objective of BRC is something good. Okay, but okay, as USC, okay, there is some sort of threatens to them. So they track back to the country, okay, by saying that if they use their own terms of currency, okay, US will impose 100% tariff. Okay, in terms of international trade, okay, of course, every country won't like the tariff because it will increase the cost of productions. Okay, so that's why we have economic integrations, okay, the block economy and so on, okay, to reduce the tariff. Because, for example, like Malaysia and Indonesia involved in Asian, so we can negotiate regarding in terms of tariff, or we will have no tariff, okay, amongst Asian countries. Okay, so back to US, okay, so US felt that they are threaten the US dollar. So to counter back, okay, they threaten the countries, okay, especially EU, okay, in terms of if they don't use US dollar, US will give or levy them 100% tariff. Okay, of course, it will get the EU entrepreneur will get pressure, okay, and then they will negotiate with their countries in terms of how to deal with US. So it's something like the threats is not really the threats, okay? The threats is for every country to decide back or to come up with the agreement, okay, what to do, okay, regarding the trade just now. If are they following the usually standard using the US dollar, or they tend to use their own currency, okay, that is in terms of what the US try to do, okay, they give the threats, okay, to get fright, okay, to the other countries, and then the other countries will need to think back, okay, are they doing the right things, or are they need to obey, okay, doing the international trade and using the US currency. So back to the BRICS, okay, now we have 13 countries involved, okay, includes Malaysia and Indonesia. Okay, so the purpose is to reduce US dollar dominance. Okay, it's a good thing because as I mentioned just now, we are relying on US dollar for years. Okay, maybe by doing that, okay, the most important is the BRICS BRICS. Okay, need to be a powerful block, trade block. Okay, so from there they can fight back, okay, with US. But if they did not achieve, okay, 100% agreement, okay, there will be a problem to them. Okay, so US will give threats and more threats, okay, regarding, especially regarding the tariff, or what types of goods that they would like to import. Okay, so that will be something that the other countries will have to think. Okay, so you mentioned about is it will impact the US economy. So I think in terms of US, if they are threatened to give 100% tariff, there will be their 100% profit. They will gain, okay, from the situations. Okay, the small countries will affect it, okay, because if we insist to use our terms of trade, okay, and avoid the US dollar, we have to bear the consequences. Okay, so that's my answer. Is it answering your questions, Mohamad Rizal?
Yes, doctor. Thank you very much for your answer.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Azhana, for very comprehensive answer. Okay, please, another speakers, Dr. Ghiyosiddin or Madam Maizatul.
Okay, can I answer your question? The relation
Please,
between Y
madam.
and C. All right.
Yes, please.
Actually, the depreciation, not only Indonesia have depreciation in currency, but also Malaysia also have depreciation against US dollar, is it? But if we go to theory, yes, of course, the relation between Y and consumption, if your income increase and finally your consumption also increase, you intend to buy something more. But actually, this depreciation actually will impact, yes, of course, firm, businesses, and also household. But for me nowadays, we have online, anything we can buy online, so the consumption more easily to be, you can consume anything online. So the consume, if your income increase, and finally your consumption also increase lah. All right, but another question, they said whether depreciation country will give significant impact to export. All right, actually when depreciation happen, production costs for domestic firm will fall relative to those of foreign competitor. All right, so this country, or actually let's say Indonesia or Malaysia, all right, when depreciation happen, so the countries export more competitive in foreign market. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, madam, for the very good answer. Okay, please, doctor, is yours.
Probably, I would say one of the most challenging obstacles, I would say, or I don't know, which is faced frequently, might be adaptation of this region, because as I said, the government is fully supporting potential foreign investors. I don't see because like US, we also have another currency hegemony, which is a Russian ruble. I don't see it as a challenge. It's more than that. It's just a huge advantage for foreign investors, which could also have a link to invest in Russia as well. So if I can compare, for example, in our country, we get Russian and also US currency hegemony. Honestly, I don't see any challenges because I can't go further. If I go further, it would be kind of inaccurate information. So I do my best to abstain from this sort of dialogue. I don't see, frankly, I don't see any challenge by far. Maybe in the future, I don't know. But as of today, I don't see any challenge that foreign investors might face here. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, doctor. Because you said in the earlier presentation that even though Tajikistan has a very large resources, but you questioning yourself why no investors, no tourism very growing over there. So therefore I'm questioning myself. So what actually the barriers so that the Tajikistan is not that growing in terms of the tourists, in terms of the maybe investors, quote unquote, doctors. That's my concerns.
Oh, okay, doctor. I would like to answer this just briefly. Maybe because of PR, I would say, lack of effective PR marketing from state, probably. Because when you look at other countries like Saudi, like Uzbekistan, and other countries, they are doing good. I mean, in terms of making a country just well known in terms of just attraction sites. I don't see it. I'm not telling that the government of Tajikistan is not doing anything. I mean, they're doing good. But when you compare Tajikistan to other countries, you say why people are not that aware of the presence of Tajikistan compared to other countries, like post-Soviet countries, like, I don't know, Estonia, Lithuania, countries like that, because they are part of the EU, and EU is, one of the strongest union in the world. So I see that it is because I don't see it as a challenge, and I don't see it as a sort of problem. Maybe we could have done better, or maybe we could better in order to promote our country in terms of tourism, so people can come and spend their time there, here, I mean, our motherland.
Okay. Okay, thank you, doctors. Any other response, question, concern from the audience, please? I'd like to call upon here our international students. We have Brother Ramziddin. Maybe you want to have questions to our doctors. We have also Brother Beller from Africa. And also we have also Brother Zidan from Yemen. Maybe you have any question to him or to our speakers? Okay, so by the way, our beloved speakers, in Indonesia right now, we are close to the Maghrib prayer right now because our Maghrib prayer is 5:40, yeah? So we close to our Maghrib prayer here. But here we have one question, Dr. Ghiyosiddin, from our students. Yeah, could you please just respond, Dr. Short?
Is it sensible, right?
Yes. Are there any studies on brand cities in Tajikistan? Or maybe Brother Ahmed, could you please raise your question directly? Maybe?
Yes, I know Dr. Ahmed Akalan. Actually, we
Oh,
are close friends. Yes,
okay.
from Turkey.
Okay. I'm sorry, Doctor. So greeting from Indonesia, Dr. Ahmed. Okay, please. Is this question to you, Dr. Ghiyosiddin, or to other speaker?
Oh, probably to me because it's in Tajikistan. Probably.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably. Okay, Dr. Ahmed and Dr. Dimas, because in Tajikistan, I mean, which I'm not that happy with, but it changes from person to person. In Tajikistan, we have strong studies. Most of them are in Russian, unfortunately, as you know from history, because we were together with Russia for almost 9 decades. If you just, sorry, for 7 decades with the Soviet Union. That's why we have important studies, but specifically on brand cities, I didn't find in English yet, but I can't say there is not, because most of studies are here run in Russian language, and some of them are in Tajik language as well. I hope they will be. Maybe I might be one of those players, one of those drivers that have studied on specific topic. And thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for raising this important and effective, I think, delightful question.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Doctor. Okay, because time is close to Maghrib prayer here, I would like to let our respective speaker to give a short closing remarks regarding the presentation, or maybe you have any advice or other concern regarding with the topic that you have presented. So I let from Dr. Azhana. Do you have a closing remark regarding the presentation before we end this presentation, please? Or maybe Madam Maizatul, do you have any closing remarks as well, please?
All right. For my topic, actually, it's a basic macroeconomic relationship. All right. So actually, it's a simple model that consider whether we assume that people don't want to do things with their income, whether saving or consume. All right. And of course, they show also the relation between Y or income, consumption, and saving. So if the income goes up, and finally consumption will goes up. All right. And also saving goes up. All right. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for the closing remarks. Please, Dr. Azhana, the is yours.
Okay, which one, Doctor? The questions?
Yeah, not questions, but do you have any
Oh,
closing remarks? Yeah, regarding with the presentation
sorry,
or any
because
advice?
I switched
Yes,
from
please.
my laptop to handphone. Okay, something wrong
Yes,
with the
please.
camera in my laptop. Okay, so regarding the international trades, okay, it's actually is an open economy. Okay, means that our country deals trade with the other countries. Okay, and it also involves the export-import. Okay, of course, when deals with export-import, there will be the international issue, okay, like the questions arise, okay, from the audience, okay. Currently, okay, although we would like to or to reduce the dominance of US, but for the time being, it's still US in the major trading. But in terms of our country involved in BRICS, okay, we are small countries, so the effect will be lesser. Okay, and furthermore, nowadays we do not rely on US 100%. We have more and more countries become a big trading partner. Okay, like China, okay, India, Brazil, okay, and so on. So the dependence on US dollar may be reduced, okay, and we can come up with more competitive and profitable agreement, okay, among other countries in terms of international trade. Okay, and I think that's all. Because I would like to add to my presentation. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Azhana. The last one, Dr. Ghiyosiddin. Dr. Ghiyosiddin, you have closing remarks before we end the session, please. Okay, so dear participants, we have already heard from the four actually distinguished speakers today. So we have listened from Dr. Azhana, Madam Maizatul, Dr. Abu, and also Dr. Ghiyosiddin regarding the issue on macroeconomics and international trade. So in the conclusions, whatever issue that we discussed today regarding international trade, basic macroeconomics, business opportunities, in the end, we are going to give a strong message that our country actually need collaboration with each other. By these collaborative activities, we expect that it could improve our quality of life in our respective countries. And in the end, we would like to have more prosperity for our nation. So therefore, our International Program for Islamic Finance, UM, to invite you all as our guest lecturer today, because we would like to learn from you all about how we can collaborate more in the future, not only just in terms of the teaching program, hopefully, maybe by other activities such as research, publication, maybe student mobility, yeah, and also the staff mobility, physical mobility programs in the future. So by that, on the behalf of the International Program for Islamic Finance, Faculty of Economic and Business, UMY, we'd like to express our thanks and appreciation to our distinguished speakers today. And we expect that we could have more activities in the next semester. And also, we are more happy to have you also here at UMY someday, hopefully. And we expect that we would have staff and student mobility in the next semester. So before we end this session, I would like to take picture together, doctors, and with all our audiences. So would you mind to turn your video on, all participants, and also the respective speakers? So before we end this session. So Brother Rizky, would you like to finish the video, please? Okay, so please turn the video on to all of our distinguished speakers and audience. Please, Rizky.
Okay, for the first slide, maybe we have three speakers. So for the first, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then the second one, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the another one is Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right.
Okay.
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 Okay, thank you again
for all
for all
speakers and also the audience. See you next time in our guest lecture series at International Program for Islamic Finance. Good luck.
distinguished speakers and
Out. See you
again.
again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. Abu,
Thank you.
Dr.
Dr.
Azhana,
Azhana.
Maizatul.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Dimas.
Thank you. See
My
you
pleasure.
again.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Take care. I hope we meet again.